Hey now. How is everybody doing? Welcome to Red Alert Diaries with Tanya E. Hood. I am Tanya E. Hood, a wife, a mother, and an entrepreneur. As an entrepreneur, it simply means I've worn a lot of different hats in my life that have helped me develop a full range of strategies and actionable steps that I've used to help my clients make a strategic impact, both personally and professionally, to have better than what life has been given them. Red Alert Diaries is based on the life lessons from my premier book, Red Alert. Is He the One? The Pocket Guide to Finding the Love of Your Life. And if you read my book, you already know that I got married at 21. And after 11 years of marriage, I found myself going through a divorce, having to raise my two sons alone. To reset my life and survive my divorce, I took the time I needed to get to know me better, which opened me up to new love again. So now I'm in a new marriage to the love of my life and my best friend, which just proves there is life after divorce. On this podcast, we have conversations that's real talk, marriage, divorce, money, and legacy. And I want you to join me on the journey. Call 240 532 2227. That's 240 532 2227. I want this podcast to challenge your thoughts and inspire you to grow. So together, we can operate in excellence. Today, I want to share with you all a little clip from my diary. I was going through clearing out a few things and I came across this. I've shared it before in other areas, but today it hit me a little different. So I wanted to just talk to you a little bit about it because if you are an individual that have walked through the same experience, I want to give you what I did to get whole again. It goes like this. You said you'd love me forever. You didn't. You said we'd be a family. We weren't. You said it would always be us against the world. Not true. So here I stand alone. Here I stand bruised. Here I stand lost. But you know what? This too shall pass. This hurt won't last. This moment is temporary. Because in me is a strength I didn't know existed. In me is a power I didn't know would reign. In me is love that can't be contained. So I stand in my strength. I stand in my power. I stand in my love, yes, mine. I always had it. I always will. I shared it with you, and I'm free to share it again. So I forgive you for trying to break me. I forgive you for not knowing how to truly love me. I forgive you because it frees me to be my amazing, phenomenal self. Sometimes when you're walking through the storm, you have got to give yourself insight. You got to help you out through the process. And at that time when I wrote that about me, I didn't believe it. I was at a place where the devastation was so deep, I couldn't figure out how to get through the process. But I knew one thing was for sure. I couldn't stay where I was, and I couldn't go back to what I'd been to. If you find yourself in that position, then sometimes you have to speak into existence what you really want. In that moment, I made a decision to love me despite what was happening around me, to love me despite what was going on in my world. And I would reread that over and over again until I got it together. I was staying in a marriage because I didn't want to be a single mother. But I'd already been in a space and a place at that time in my relationship where I kind of was. I was taking care of the boys by myself, running and doing all the various things that I needed to alone. If I could just figure out how to co-parent in a process, it would have been okay. But I didn't know how, and I couldn't figure out what else to do. So in the meantime, when the divorce took place, it really hit that I was alone. But I'd been there before. I forgot some elements. When you forget who you are at the core of your being, you will allow people, places, and things to circumvent you and cause you to have a breakup in your soul and forget how amazing you are, how phenomenal you are. I took the time to listen to so many various things that helped me get through the storm. So this is something that you can do as well. Create a get through it playlist. Find songs that lift you up and bring you joy. Find songs that speak to who you want to be. Because sometimes, in order for us to get to our next position, we have to grow into another version of ourselves. You see, a version of me was trying to figure out who I was. I had an idea a little bit, but when you're 21 years old, you really don't know with full clarity who you are and what you bring to the table. I had to make a discovery of Tanya. I had to dig deep and decide some things. There are some elements about who you are that you choose. You get to choose, and I tell this to my children often, your life is a result of the choices that you make. When they are young, they are sitting in some elements of the choices that we make. And for those things in my children, I apologize because they had no choice but to walk through the storm with me. But there are other decisions that they made in that process that could have made their world a little bit better. So I share with them, you will always have circumstances beyond your control that you cannot make any adjustments in. But personally, you can adjust how you feel. You can adjust how you're dealing with it. You can make adjustments in how you will respond. We often, when we don't know who we are, make a decision to put that ownership on someone else. And so in my first marriage, I put the ownership on my ex-husband to define who I was, to give me insight about who I could be. That was unfair to him, and it was unfair to me. No one can give you clear statements about who you are. You were already born with the element and the essence of who you're supposed to be in the world. Your responsibility is to get clear about it. Take the time you need to get clear. Because I chose not to initially get clear about what was going on in my journey, I allowed my life to be hijacked by people, places, and things that did not support me. If you find yourself in a position where it doesn't feel like you imagined, where you don't have the family that you desire, where you're not positioned where you thought you would be at this moment, I want you to know that you have within you the power to speak what you need. Find the tools and the resources that will help you get whole. And if you need someone to walk you through the journey, reach out. Sometimes you can get some insight from those that are around you. Ask, what do they know about you that you don't yet realize about yourself? So that was something else that I did. I walked through the process of asking a few people, give me one word that you believe gives a clear depiction of who I am. That gives a couple of things. One, it gives them an opportunity to really think about you and to give you a word that you can focus on. Because if you're getting so much from a lot of different people, it can overwhelm you. And I don't want you overwhelmed because life will already do that. But if you have one word, it's a focus and the thought process of what you have given that they have received, because people can only regurgitate what they see about you. Now, there are a few people in your world that have a decision in their mind about who they want you to be, and they'll mold you into that. With all of the information that you receive, you decide what you will keep and what you'll throw away. And so for today, if you don't remember anything else I've shared, here's the one thing I want you to know. You have within you the ability to speak what you need over your life, to have what you desire. You have the ability to remember and sometimes to learn a new version of who you are so that you can get to your next trajectory. And if you want someone to join you on the process, reach out to me. Go to my website, TanyaEhood.com. There you can click under the Work With Me tab and see all the various ways that we can be a support system to one another. And if you're on Clubhouse, you can join me every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the Red Alert Diaries room, where we can continue the conversation or we can start a new one. In the meantime, this is Tanya E. Hood, walking in my purpose, and I want you to do the same. When the waves are taking you